أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عني. Oh Allah, you're forgiving and love to forgive, so please forgive me. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to day 27 of Ramadan, by extension, day 27 of Ramadan Nugget with Halimat. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, for the journey so far. I hope you all are doing well. I hope you're all excited as we count down to the end of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah. The theme for today is Zakat-ul-fitr. Yes, Zakat-ul-fitr will be the theme for today on Ramadan Nugget with Halimat. So Zakat-ul-fitr is the name given to the charity which is distributed at the end of the fast of Ramadan. Every Muslim is required to pay Zakat-ul-fitr at the conclusion of the month of Ramadan as a token to the thankfulness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for having enabled him to observe fast. Its purpose is to purify those who fast from any indecent act or speech, and it's to help the poor and the needy. So there are two purposes for Zakat-ul-fitr. One is related to the individual for completion of his fast and compensation for any shortcomings in his act or speech. The other is related, which is the most larger one now, is related to society for spreading of love and happiness among its members, particularly the poor and the needy. During the day of Eid, it also purifies one's souls from such shortcomings, as the adoration of property and from miscellaneous. So these are the purposes of Zakat-ul-fitr. In addition, it provides for the needs of the poor and the indigents and relieve them from having to ask for other charity on the day of Eid. So the idea of Eid is this joyous day, and that's why Zakat-ul-fitr was put in place, so that while some are rejoicing, some will not be sad. So Zakat-ul-fitr will for all those who are capable will have to give it upon every member of their families, and this money or whatever food items that's given will be distributed to the poor and needy in the society, so that they can have a joyful Eid as well, so that they can have something to, eat and be merry on the day of Eid, mashallah. So the main aim of Zakat-ul-fitr is to provide the poor with their needs and make them happy on the blessed day of Eid al-Fitr, like I've just said, to make them happy and make them feel that something special is happening on that day. So the intention of paying Zakat-ul-fitr is to bring happiness to the poor on the day of Eid. And to do what we may pay, to do that, we have to pay this a little in advance, as much as this is necessary to make it on time to the poor. So it is advisable that we pay Zakat-ul-fitr few days or days before Eid, so that those that would organize it will be able to make arrangement before the day of Eid, and those that needs it would be able to get something and be sure that something is coming for them on the day of Eid. Zakat-ul-fitr becomes obligatory from sunset on the last day of fasting and remains obligatory until the beginning of Salatul Eid. So it is still in place before you perform before we perform the Eid prayer. Zakat-ul-fitr is recommended to start and end on that morning or just before we perform Eid prayer. It is an obligation which is due to the free or slave Muslim, male or female, young or adult. A man who is the head of the family pays for himself and from whomever he shelters, unless they have enough money of their own to give out Zakat-ul-fitr in Ramadan. Otherwise, a man, for example, that has like maybe 3 kids and the parents around an elderly person, so plus the man plus the wife plus the kids and the elderly, so the man will pay whatever it is calculated as on all of those that he is responsible for. Unless, of course, the kids no longer, they're grown up and they're no longer in the house, or they can take care of their own needs. So we can say that Zakat-ul-fitr plays an important role in the development of the bond of the community. The rich are obliged to come in direct contact with the poor, and the poor are put in contact with the extremely poor, which helps to build real bond of brotherhood and love within the Islamic community, mashallah, which is one of the reasons to promote unity, happiness, and spread love, and thereby making us reinforce the importance of one brotherhood that we share as Muslims. The amount of zakat is the same for everyone, regardless of the difference in income bracket. So the minimum amount is 1 sa of food, barley, grain, or dried fruit for each member of the family. So let's say you are using grains, so you would have the measurement of that grain for, let's say, 4 members, so it will be in times 4. If it's 2, it will be times 2. So paying Zakat-ul-fitr is an act of worship, and all acts of worship are described through the Quran and Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah accept our fast and give us the strength to complete them in a better way by paying Zakat-ul-fitr. Ameen. So it is few days to Eid. Today is the 27th of Ramadan. So in about 2 to 3 days, it will be the end of Ramadan, and we'll be observing the Eid prayer. So if we are yet to pay our Zakat-ul-fitr, this is an opportunity for us. This is a reminder for us to do so, mashallah, before the day of Eid, so that this funds can be used and well managed by those who are going to manage it, so that those that need it will be able to get it, and everyone will be happy and merry, just like He expected us to be, mashallah. So we're looking at the Quran verse that is talking more on giving zakat-ul-fitr in general. So I'll look at Quran 9 verse 60, and it says, "Indeed, prescribed charitable offering are only to be given to the poor and the indigent, and to those who work on administering it, and to those whose heart are to be reconciled, and to free those in bondage, and to the debt-ridden, and for the cause of God and the wayfarer." This is an obligation from God, and God is all-knowing, and God is all-wise. So just talking about charities and how it should be distributed. So we looked at the hadith that was talking about Zakat-ul-fitr. Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, reported that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made Zakat-ul-fitr compulsory, so that those who fasted may be purified of their idle deeds and shameful talk committed during Ramadan. So Zakat-ul-fitr is like a step that will still push whatever you have done higher. So let's use this in that simple language. And so that the poor may be fed. Whoever gives it before Salah will have it accepted as zakat. That's whoever give it before, what I mentioned earlier, that whatever you are giving out zakat-ul-fitr, it has begun now and it's ending just before we perform the Eid prayer. So whoever gives it before then, it will be known as Zakat-ul-fitr. But whoever gives it after the Salah has given the normal Sadaqah. So if you wait till if you give your Zakat-ul-fitr after the Eid prayer has been performed, then it's going to be counted as a normal Sadaqah that we give every day all year round. But if you give it like right from this period up till the moment just before we perform Eid prayer, then it is still counted as Zakat-ul-fitr, mashallah. So how do you pay Zakat-ul-fitr? The different way you can pay Zakat-ul-fitr. In the hadith, it's mentioned that zakat should be food, be it rice, date, cheese, or whatever. However, these days it is difficult for many people to buy food. So you calculate the correct weight of it and hardest of all, deliver it to the most in need. However, because of the many organizations that exist now, this has been made much easier. So coming to this, the organization will calculate the amount of Zakat-ul-fitr depending on your location, and then distribute your donation to those most in need. So the organization will make that calculation and tell you, okay, this is the amount for Zakat-ul-fitr for each member of the household. Let's say, for example, it is $100 or $5. I'm just saying examples. So it will now be 100 naira times, say you have 5 members of your family, and if it's $5, for example again, it will not be $5 and 5 members of your family. So the organization will make calculations and put information out to their members and tell them that, okay, for this year, this is the amount of Zakat-ul-fitr that is mandated on each member of your household, mashallah. So you do the calculation. So let's say, for example, it's this amount. So you're going to times it times the number of people that you're responsible for in your house. And then you send to the organizations. By extensions, the organization will get this all together and do something for those that truly need it. They might either be getting food or giving them in cash, depending on how they decide to go about this, mashallah. But of course, these organizations are trusted organizations that would distribute this Zakat-ul-fitr just as it should be used. So that is that on Zakat-ul-fitr and how you pay Zakat-ul-fitr. There's a whole lot more details on that, but I won't be going to it. Basic idea is that in summary, we already have these organizations that will reach out and tell you what is expected and how to pay. So if you don't have any information on that, you can reach your local mosque community. You can ask them, and they will be able to give you information. So on the other tips for today, it says that during Ramadan, headache can be prevented by not exposing yourself to direct sunlight, wearing a hat when you're out, using sunglasses to reduce the effects of glare from the sun, and relieving any tense muscle with a short, gentle massage. So, two ways, because we're fasting, so you can have headache and you'll not be able to take water or feel dehydrated. But if you keep away from exposing yourself directly to sun, using a hat when you're out, using a sunscreen or sunglasses, and of course doing relieving your tense muscle with a short, gentle massage. So this will help to prevent or relieve the headache even when they come on during Ramadan. So the other tips for today is telling us to try as much as we can to prevent ourselves from going into direct sunlight. And if this happens, you have headache, a short gentle massage will help, because of course you're fasting and so you can't even take any medication. So on the Ramadan checklist, it says that we should be keen on finishing or reading the whole Quran at least once during the month of Ramadan. Recite at least one of its 30 parts every day. If you are not that good at reading the Quran, you should not despair or be disappointed, for there is still a chance for you to gain reward from Allah. This can be achieved by listening directly to the one who has better recitation or to audio. So we advise that we should try as much as we can. We all know that one of the good deeds of Ramadan is Quran recitation from back to back. So if you cannot, from Baqarah to Fatiha. So if you cannot recite the Quran, if you can recite the Quran, try as much as you can to try to read from back to back during Ramadan. You have the whole day. We know it could be very busy, but if you take it like maybe say certain number of pages after every compulsory salat every day, then you really go far. Then otherwise, if you cannot read, then do not feel bad and say, oh, I'm not going to get a reward from the Quran. So you can listen to Quran audio, you can listen to a reciter. That way you also be getting a reward, mashallah. So we should try as much as we can to make reading the Quran an habit for us. So I move to the meal idea for today. On the sahur, I'm suggesting, if you have it around you, offer the rice and the sauce, of course, and all of those protein sauce that you wish to put in. And for iftar, you can try Indomie jollof with boiled egg and plantain. Remember that these are just suggestions. You can always choose them around to suit whatever you want, and make it even more better. So on the app today that I'll be suggesting, the name of this app is Alif. ALIF as it sounds. So Alif is an app by Islamic Finder. It's a one-tap app, Islamic learning app that help Muslims perfect their Islamic knowledge through fun and interactive courses. Alif app is a perfect learning tool for you if you want to learn the basic of Islam. With Alif app, you can learn Quran Tajweed and Makhraj from the Arabic teacher. They have like a teacher-pupil or student relationship. You can do online Quran learning with audio and video courses by an experienced Qari, that's the teacher. Quran Arabic with Quran Tajweed and Makhraj from a skilled teacher. Quran e-learning to perfect the art of reciting the Quran in Arabic language. Connected letters in the Arabic language. You can browse Al-Quran through Surah, Juzu, and Ayah. And there's a Quran learning for kids, and you can learn Quran Arabic easily and interactively with Quran lessons and exercise. So this app, Alif, just like the sound, ALIF, is a very good app. It's an all-encompassing app. I have just listed all of those things that you can do with the app. You can do a teacher-pupil relationship. You can do a self-learning style. You can learn the proper pronunciation. You can learn how to connect your Arabic letters and words. There's a whole lot on the app, so you just want to check it out if you've not. And if it's not for you, of course, you can always look the other way. So not still take. It seems to have been the way this is. And of course, so I'll just move to do not say to a fasting Muslim. So do not say to a fasting Muslim, how much weight have you gained? How much weight have you lost? Because the whole journey is not about weight loss or weight gain for us. For Ramadan, the intentions are different. It is not about gaining weight. It's not about losing weight. So you need not ask us that, please. The journey for us is not about how much weight or tummy fat or body fat we're losing or gaining. It is about an act of worship in adherence to the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So please do not ask us that. Thank you. As you understand this, I'll move to the dua of the day. A dua a day keeps shaitan away. And so the dua of the day is A'udhu bi kalimati tammati min sharri ma khalaq. I seek protection in the perfect words of Allah from every evil that has been created. Very powerful, short but powerful dua. Seeking protection from Allah from everything evil that He has created. Do not let it come near me. Do not let it touch me. Do not let it come near my family, friends, and loved ones, mashallah. So, I seek protection in the perfect words of Allah from every evil that has been created, whether seen and unseen. Yeah, Allah distance me from every evil that has been created. I'm saying my own. You say your own. If you're watching live, if you be catching replay, of course say your own. The idea behind dua of the day is that we are able to say at least one dua every day during Ramadan, mashallah. Alhamdulillah that we've come to day 27. We'll be able to say different du'as from day 1 to 27. Last willing, we are going to be saying another one in the last few days of Ramadan, a different one, mashallah. And I pray that Allah accept this for us as an act of ibadah. So we've been talking about Zakat-ul-fitr today. We talked about the importance of Zakat-ul-fitr, that Zakat-ul-fitr is to mark the end of Ramadan. It serves like a purifier for our Ramadan, to cleanse whatever that seems like that has been not so good during our Ramadan. We mentioned that it does serve two purposes, and that is one of it. The other main purposes is that we want to be able to give back to the society, giving to the poor and the needy, because Eid for us is supposed to be a joyous occasion. Inshallah, we should be looking at Eid as a team tomorrow. So Eid is supposed to be a joyous tomorrow or a day after, yeah, but before the end of Ramadan, I think Eid is one of our tips I will be looking at. So Eid is supposed to be a joyous occasion for us Muslims, and the way Allah has designed it, He doesn't want it such that some people will be happy and some people will be sad on that day. We want everyone to be happy. So that is one of the reasons of Zakat-ul-fitr. So Zakat-ul-fitr will be given to those that don't have, so that they too can have a sense of belonging and a sense of joy that is around their head on that day, mashallah. So we talked about how Zakat-ul-fitr can be given, but the most important summary is that in this present day, we have a lot of societies and organizations that are taking this up. So usually they will tell you what amount is due for each member of the family as Zakat-ul-fitr for each year. So for this year, they will say, for example, let's say it's 100 naira or $10, for example. So they will say, oh, this is the amount that is due for Zakat-ul-fitr, and you multiply that amount times the number of people you have in your household. The leader, the father of the house, is responsible for all the sheep, all his flocks, or all the people under him, except of course if they are adults and grown and they are no longer in the house. But if they're in that house and they are not able to, observe that by themselves, then it is mandated on that man as the head of the family to make payment for the spouse, for the kids, or for any elderly person that is also in the house, mashallah. So then these organizations usually will now take up this Zakat-ul-fitr and will disburse it as requested and as best as can be. So it's always advisable that we pay the Zakat-ul-fitr before the day of Eid. We have until the morning before we go for Eid prayer, before we pay up our Zakat-ul-fitr, so that people can actually have been able to use it as a when due. So if you pay before then, it has started, the organizations have started accepting Zakat-ul-fitr now. So if you are yet to pay, you should think about paying it now. So if you paid before then, or right from now to right before the morning of Eid, it is known as Zakat-ul-fitr. But if you paid after Eid, then it is known as the normal sadaqah that we give every day, and the reward might differ. And then of course the purpose for which we want it to serve might not, the purpose would have changed a little bit. So we still want it to be in line with with Eid, we still want it to be in line with making people that don't have happy on the day of Eid. So it's advisable and encouraged that we pay our Zakat-ul-fitr right from about now till the very morning before Eid. I pray Allah makes it easy for every one of us that it is due upon to be able to pay this without trouble, without pain, mashallah. And I pray that Allah heals the affairs of everyone in the world, is the affairs of people that are in pain, is the affairs of people that are healed, is the affairs of every one of us, because we all need you to ease our affairs, mashallah. We pray that Allah accept our act of ibadah. I want to say jazakumullah khairan for everyone who watched this live today, and for all those who will be catching the replay. I want to say again jazakumullah khairan to everyone who has been sharing from day one. May Allah accept this as an act of ibadah from me and from you. I want to say thank you for all the comments, thank you for all the encouragement, mashallah. Alhamdulillah, for the end of day 27. We have few more days to go. I pray Allah to give me the will to the very end to see this to the end, mashallah, to the end of Ramadan. Allah's willing, tomorrow, the 28th, I'll be here again. And I'll be here again, mashallah, with another team, just to make so, with another team for Ramadan. I pray that Allah grants peace to the world, peace to the nation, peace to our community, peace to our household. I pray that it grants shifa to all those who are ill, mashallah. I pray that Allah give us more will, more strength to better understand His deen and be better humans. I pray that we will be coming out of Ramadan a better version of ourselves in all aspects, mashallah, in our deen, in our livelihood, in our relationship, mashallah. Thank you so much. I've come to the end of the program for today. Thank you so much. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ma'asalam.